Hi, I'm Non from My Authentic Style, and this channel is dedicated to helping you find your authentic style. In this video, I'll be going over the Kibbe body types test. I'll do a quick overview and recap of what the Kibbe body type system is, discuss everything you need to do and have to prepare for the test, and then go through every question with reference images to help you better understand how to answer each one. Let's begin by discussing what the Kibbe body type system is. The Kibbe system is a body type and style essence system that was developed by David Kibbe in the 1980s and focuses on five main categories: the dramatic, classic, natural, gamete, and romantic. The Kibbe system essentially evaluates the balance of a body's yang, meaning sharp and angular, components, and yin, meaning the soft and rounded components and features, to determine to which category it belongs. Each of the five main categories has a more yang or yin version, resulting in 10 body types. As a note, there were originally 13 body types when Kibbe first created his system and when he still acknowledged pure types. However, he no longer does this as he feels that each person either leans more yin or more yang within their body type category. If this is all new to you, I suggest you watch the video that came before this one, in which I detailed the Kibbe system and explained a lot of Kibbe terms so that you have a better understanding before we dive into the test. So how do you figure out your Kibbe body type? By taking the body type test based on the original developed by David Kibbe. However, over time, the test has proven to have some limitations, and David Kibbe has now said not to use a quiz to figure out your type, and that the only way to properly be typed is to book an in-person consultation with him. Now, this is obviously not viable for most people, and while it can be confusing, I do think this test is still a great resource. What's important is to remember that the test is not a mathematical formula. There's more to interpret than just the number of B answers you get, for example. Understanding the test and its answers requires a holistic approach to your lines, meaning your bone structure, your flesh, and your features, as well as your essence. Here's how to prepare for the Kibbe test. First, get a pen and paper ready to record your responses. Or you could use your phone or any device of your choosing. Just make sure it's something that you can refer to later on. This quiz needs you to be exact about your responses, and it'll be nice to take notes in case you're unsure about an answer or if you're in between two answers. I'll discuss how to record your responses shortly. Number 2, take a full-length picture, meaning head to toe, of yourself. Take the photo at chest height and at a 90-degree angle, so make sure your camera angle isn't tilted to allow for the true proportions to be clearly visible. In this picture, stand naturally with your shoulders back and your head up. Wear something that either clearly outlines your body or showcases your body. So you can have a leotard like some of these women, a swimsuit, some yoga pants, or be in underwear. Whatever it is that's going to really let you see your body and answer those specific questions about your flesh. Next, wear a lightly lined semi-supportive bra that doesn't tweak the shape of your chest. So nothing overly tight, nothing confining, and nothing padded. Lastly, avoid distracting colors and patterns so that it's easy to focus on your body. Make sure to use the back camera and not selfie mode when you take your face photo. Selfies and front-facing cameras can cause distortion, and you want a true representation of your facial lines so that you can have a more accurate test result. Make sure to prop your phone up in line with your face. Make sure it's not lower or higher, and ensure that the camera is not angled. And then get a natural face shot. Make your expression neutral. Take a few photos. Some of them can have a bit of a smile. This can help in images where we need to talk about your facial flesh and cheekbones and the flesh underneath the cheekbones, but also have some neutral ones so that you have options when answering. You should have little to no makeup on. Make sure you have good natural light and no strong shadows. Some considerations for your camera. You can either get a friend to take your picture, which might be more accurate, or you can use a self timer and a camera stand and do it yourself. A tripod is very useful as it ensures a steady, straight photo. But if you don't have a tripod, then you can stack some level items like books or shoe boxes on a table or a counter until you get to the desired chest level length or height. Again, be sure to use the rear-facing camera, as the front or selfie cameras have more distortions and generally take a lower quality photo from a distance. And now that you have the technical things you need to prepare for the test, there are some mental and emotional considerations as well. Firstly, be open to the test. If you've been reading up on the different body types, do your best to release any bias you have about any of them. No woman wants to be described as masculine, for example. So the Kibbe language can sometimes create a psychological barrier for many test takers who don't want to see themselves in a particular way. While I can easily understand why people do this, it is nonetheless a barrier that will hinder you from getting the full benefit of this test. Secondly, accept that the test is not perfect. This method is not definitive, and your answers as well as your body type may require some tweaking as you learn and understand more. There is a lot of misinformation out there on the Kibbe system, with some contradictions coming from David Kibbe himself. This is a fun rabbit hole, but it's confusing and it's a lot. So take the data you get from this quiz and see if it fits. Try out the clothing and style suggestions and then tweak them as needed. Thirdly, you might not get it right the first time. For most of us, finding your Kibbe body type is a journey, not a one and done type of thing. Knowing this up front can save you some frustration. At least I hope it will. So, what does the Kibbe test examine? The Kibbe body test is made up of 15 questions that analyze four main components of your body: your skeleton, your body flesh, meaning how the flesh sits on your bones, your facial bones or bone structure, and your facial flesh. For each question, refer to the pictures you just took and compare them to the pictures in the test to choose the answer that is the closest match. Please don't tweak your answers to match the celebrity you want to look like. Just answer honestly for the body you have and not the one you wish you had. Your body is perfect, I promise. And as we'll find in this body type series, there are so many stunning people in each and every category that nobody should be wanting to be a different one. And I really hope that I can drive that home. Here's how to record your answers. The questions are grouped into sections, as I just mentioned, so group your answers the same way. For each section, record the question number and your answer. A sample answer sheet may look as follows. You'll have the skeleton section, the body flesh section, and the facial features section. And then maybe you might have 4B answers, 4B1A, etc., etc. Just make sure it's clear so that it's easy for you to count and tally it up at the end. Okay, I'm sure by this point you're ready to just take the test. But again, I highly recommend that you watch the previous video I did if you haven't, because as you'll quickly discover by listening to this test, there's a lot of Kibbe language here. And if you don't understand it, you will be confused. The very first question asks about your vertical line, and the entire test is designed to ascertain your exact composition of yin and yang. And if you have no idea what those terms mean, then the previous video will get you up to speed, and I think it'll make this test tasting process a lot smoother. And with that, let's begin. Part 1 is the bone structure or skeleton. In this section, we'll be looking at your skeletal structure, which directly relates to how clothes hang on your body. This is arguably the most important aspect of the Kibbe body type system. Everything rests on your skeleton, both in real life and in Kibbe. We will be looking at the shape of your bones, as well as their length and their proportions. How long is your vertical line? Your vertical line is your height in relation to your horizontal lines. For simplicity, it can be described as how tall you appear, not necessarily how tall you are. For instance, you can have two people of the same height, whereas one actually appears taller when they are standing separately, of course, and the other one looks shorter. The one who looks taller has a longer vertical line. In this example, these women all have the same height. At least it's listed as being the same at 5'5". That said, they don't look to be the same height. I think the two women to the right, Miley Cyrus and Thandera Newton, look taller than the two on the left. Lupita Nyong'o, and perhaps even more so Selena Gomez, look shorter. This means that the two to the right have a longer vertical line. So then let's answer that first question. How long is your vertical line? A. Long. I look taller than I actually am. B. Moderately long. I look slightly taller than I actually am, but not by much. C. Moderate. I look to be my actual height. D. Smallish. I look slightly shorter than my height. E. Petite. It is very obvious that I am small in stature. Question 2. What is the shape of your shoulders? When evaluating your shoulder shape, make sure you stand up straight and don't slouch. A. Narrow, sharp. B. Broad, blunt. C. Even. D. Sloped, tapered. E. Sloped, rounded. Question 3. How long are your arms and legs, and what shape are they? Please note, you're evaluating the length of your arms and legs in relation to the length of your torso. This does not involve actually measuring your arms and legs, and it is not dependent on your height. Look at your body as a whole and evaluate the length of your limbs in relation to that whole. It is possible to be tall and have short arms and legs, proportionally speaking, and vice versa. You can be short and have long arms and legs in proportion to your overall body. Here you need to refer to the full-length photo you took and note where the fingertips hit your leg in relation to your knee. So, how long are your arms and legs and what shape are they? A. Elongated, narrow. B. Elongated, broad. C. Moderate, evenly proportionate to your torso and height. D. Small, somewhat short. E. Small, very short proportionally to height and torso. Question 4. What are the size and general shape of your hands and feet? A. Long and narrow. B. large and broad. C, moderate, neither large nor small. D, small, narrow, delicate. E, small, slightly wide. And now we move on to part 2, which evaluates your body flesh. In this section, we'll be examining how your flesh lays on your body. It's important to note that when we discuss flesh, we're not discussing weight or fat, but rather how your skin looks over your flesh or muscles and bones. This part of the test will also examine how your bust, waist, and hips compare to one another. It will also further investigate the balance of your yin, meaning your soft elements, and your yang, meaning your sharp and angled elements, how they come across in your flesh. Here I like to discuss A Tale of Two Sisters. The Hadid sisters are a great example of how a different yin-yang composition can play out. Despite being very thin, Gigi Hadid has very pinchable flesh and a round face with full cheeks. While her skeleton is yang, her flesh is more yin. On the other hand, her sister Bella is thin and her flesh is also thin. It's taut and sinewy, and her body and her face is sharply chiseled with hollow cheeks. Both Bella's skeleton and flesh are yang. Okay, now have your photo ready and let's dive into the nuances of your flesh. Question 5. What is the overall shape of your body? A, long and lean. B, broad and tends to have a muscular look. C, moderate, proportionate. D, shapely, soft hourglass, but not extremely defined. E, rounded edges, lush, clearly defined hourglass shape. Question 6. What is the shape of your bust or upper torso? When discussing your bust line, it is about the overall shape of your chest and the flesh around it, meaning your upper back flesh and the side flesh. What outline does it create? The cup size is irrelevant and should not be considered a defining characteristic. Just because you have a larger chest does not mean you have yin. Likewise, a small bust does not mean you have yang. There's too many things at play to make that determination that simple. So what is the shape of your bust or upper torso? A, flat, taut, small. B, wide and broad, but still small. C, moderate, even. D, curved and shapely, full. And E, prominent, busty. Question 7. What is the shape of your waistline? A, elongated, boyishly tapered. And weight gain won't change this. B, elongated but broad. C, moderate, slightly defined. D, very small in comparison to your waist, hips, and shoulders. E, slightly defined but still broad and has a round quality. Question 8. What is the overall shape of your hips? Please remember that this is in relation to the rest of your body. Okay. A, straight, narrow, tapered. B, fairly straight, slightly tapers in, but also slightly wide. C, moderate in comparison to bust and hips. D, rounded and shapely, more pronounced than waistline. E, extremely soft and rounded. Question 9. How would you describe the flesh on your upper arms and thighs? The easiest way to test this is to pinch the skin around your upper arms. So this will be a description of how you would choose to describe that flesh. A. Long, slender, and lean for your weight. If you're thin, there'll be no flesh to pinch. If you're heavier, you may have some flesh, but it'll be minimal for your weight. B. Elongated, looks muscular. There is little flesh to pinch and it feels lean and or muscular. C. Moderate. You fall somewhere in the middle. You might be able to pinch some flesh, but not much, and it feels neither lean nor fleshy for your size. D. Soft, but with some definition. You will have some soft flesh to your upper thighs and upper arms that is easily pinchable and still has some definition to it. E. Very soft, slightly wide, fleshy. Your upper arms and thighs feel fleshy and soft. You can pinch a fair amount of skin despite your weight. Part 3. Facial features. For this section, you'll be examining your facial features. Make sure you have your face photo ready. We will examine the shape of each of the features of your face, both their structure and how the flesh lays on it. Question 10. What is the overall shape of your jawline? A. Sharp, either very pointed or angular and square. B. Blunt and slightly wide, can feel broad. C. Moderate, neither wide, sharp, nor distinctly round. D. Tapered or sloped, slightly narrow. E. Rounded, softly broad. Question 11. What is the shape of your nose? A. Sharp and prominent. B. Broad or blunt, can be on the larger side. C. Moderate. D. Delicate, tapered, narrow. E. Rounded or softly wide. Question 12. What is the shape of your cheekbones? For this question, we are looking at the shape of the actual bones, not the flesh. Referring back to your photo should help you see the shape, but you can also feel your cheekbones to see how prominent they are compared to your cheeks and how rounded or sharp they feel. So, what is the shape of your cheekbones? A. High and prominent. B. Wide, blunt. C. Moderate. D. Delicate, narrow, with slightly rounded edges. E. Rounded, full, soft. Question 13. What is the shape of your eyes? A. Narrow, straight, closely spaced. B. Narrow, straight, widely spaced. C. Evenly spaced, moderate size. D. Rounded or upturned, slightly close together. E. Very round and very large. Question 14. What is the shape of your lips? A. Straight, narrow. B. Straight, strong, broad. C. Moderate. D. Slightly full and has some roundness. E. Very full and very rounded. Question 15. How would you describe the flesh on your cheekbones? This is not the same as the shape of your cheekbones, which we answered in question 12. This question is about the flesh you have on top of your cheekbones, which can alter how prominent they are and the overall shape of your face. For this question, look at a picture of yourself smiling to see how much volume your cheek flesh creates. You can also smile and feel your cheekbones and see how much flesh you can pinch. So, how would you describe the flesh of your cheekbones? A. Flat, taut, even when overweight. B. Fairly tight or muscular, can get puffier if you put on weight. C. Moderate, can be gently soft. D. Soft and fleshy, if you gain weight your cheeks seem to get even fuller. E. Very round and fleshy, no matter weight fluctuations. And with that, you are done. Congratulations, you have taken your first Kibbe test, if it's your first. If it is your first, chances are you're going to be taking the test a couple more times, and that's okay. Take a breather, celebrate, and then meet me over in the next video to discuss your results. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you liked the video and that you learned something from it. If you did, let me know in the comments below. In fact, please do all the things. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on your notifications. If you like this kind of content and want to read more before the next video, hop on over to my website where I have tons of posts for you to read through. Otherwise, from me none, big love, and I'll see you on the next one.